Yes, good afternoon. It is afternoon, isn't it? 4 minutes into the afternoon. It is the day after the game before. Tottenham have won 3-0. And still, I jumped into bed last night. I flick on a few YouTube shows. You know, honestly, I went to bed feeling like we'd lost 3-0. Madness. Listen, I get it. Believe it or not, we don't play like Barcelona yet. We do not play like Pep Guardiola's Barcelona. Not yet. No, we don't. Listen, a 3-0 win last night against Slavia Prague. It was the game at home that people said we should be winning. We did win it. That's the key thing. We did win the game. We've won all 3 of our home games in the Champions League so far. 2 away draws, and then obviously the defeat to PSG. But look, some really encouraging things going on in the last 10 days. It's as I've said, I'm not I'm under no illusions that this is going to be an up and down season. We know that, right? And so far we've seen that. I mean, we've had a spell in this season, haven't we, where we were 7 unbeaten. We've had a spell where I don't think we won for 5. Now we're 3 unbeaten. It's going to be like that. And you know why? Because we're not good enough. We're not good enough to just go unbeaten. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. So expect defeats. There will be defeats in the games that are ahead. There will. But there will also be some wins. There'll be some good performances. There'll be some okay performances. There'll probably be some shockers. I'm not sure why anyone is surprised when you look at our squad. So I'll say it again, I'm very calm, I'm very comfortable, and I'm of the opinion now, and I'll call out my fellow YouTubers, I'm of the opinion now that this is now at the stage where this is for clickbait and drama, rather than people actually taking a grown-up approach and saying, look, we're at the beginning of something with Thomas Frank. And for all those that expected him to come in immediately and start playing football, he's come in, he's tried a few things out. He wanted to see who worked, who hasn't. He's 4 months now. He started to see which left-sided player can he trust. Who can he trust in midfield? Who can he trust at fullbacks? Which player is now ready to play in the 10? Who can he trust up front? But again, too many fans with day one. Good football. Give me good football from day one. Go. Because these people don't take a step back and say, right, chill out. Let the manager do his thing, right? Let the manager do his thing. We've seen how he works at Bromby. We saw how he worked at Brentford. Maybe, just maybe it's going to be the same at Spurs. But these people going, I don't like him because his football isn't good. Get him out. Come on. Let's be maturer. Let's be maturer than that. Let's realize that this is a club that really needs time to build. As I said, this year for me isn't the important year in terms of league position, winning thing. This year for me is the important year for building. Right? This is the important year for building. What was the first window like? Can we add to it the second window? What's the third window like? Because now you've done a year. By the time we do next summer, we've done a year with him and he's had 3 windows. And we go, right, where are we? Where are we now? How is the squad looking? Who's leaving that he didn't want? Who's coming in that he did want? And what are we developing into? And this is all I've asked for Spurs for years, right? This is all only me. This is all I've asked for Spurs for years. And that's where I think I get really frustrated at fans that just say, we should be winning every game and we should beat every team and can't beat Wolves, can't beat Fulham, can't beat Bodo, can't beat Bournemouth, can't beat Villa. Well, some of these teams are decent football teams. Some of them we should be winning, yes, but we haven't been beating in previous years. So it's going to take time. And again, the word, see, Anthony, the word you've used in the chat of rebuild, we're not rebuilding from anything. The word rebuild, fans use wrong. It's incorrect. Rebuild is Man City. They're rebuilding from a team that won Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues. That's a rebuild. Tottenham aren't building from anything. We've not done anything. We've not built a team. we haven't had a good team for 7-8 years now, since what, Poch in 2017-18. So we're going back 7-8 years now. And for me, we're building. You've got to build something. Forget the word rebuild. What are we building? What are we building? How are we getting there? Now, we can let other fan bases take the piss out of us all we want. We can be as impatient as we like. But we all know that needs to happen deep down. Deep down, no matter how frustrated we are, no matter how much our patience has run out, we all know deep down that this massively needs to happen. We all know there's going to be some pain. We all know that patience is needed. And I was having this chat the other day, right? And someone said, oh, I've run out of patience. And I said, sure, but we all have. But that doesn't mean that the next manager that comes in doesn't deserve our patience, because the next manager that comes in is nothing to do with what's happened before him. So this manager right now is nothing to do with the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years at Tottenham Hotspur. This manager now this is his time. This is what he is building. This is what he needs to go and build a squad. He needs to learn who he can trust and who he can't. And I think we're seeing it, right? What I'm hearing from people I know that know people at the club, pie in the sky, believe it or not, I genuinely don't know, is that the thing Thomas Frank wants the most is a left winger. That's the thing that Thomas Frank wants the most, and that makes sense, right? My understanding as well is that he wants a left back and a left centre half. This is not breaking news. This is not ITK stuff. This is obvious. You look at the team and you go, yeah, this is what needs to be changed. Now, if we're going to look at the short term and go, oh my God, we're 11th. I don't know what we are in the league. Let's have a look. Well, I think we're 11th. Hang on, there's the league table. If we're going to look and say, oh my God, we're 11th. The world is falling apart. The ceiling is caving in. Then I get it. But right now, I'm happy to let a manager build. Sean, how are you? Happy Wednesday. And how are all the workmen getting on in your abode?
They haven't turned up yet. They ain't turned up yet. Donuts. So
I've had a for the 4 hours of the day, and he said to me, I'll be there at 8. And 7:45, I'm like, by the way, I set my alarm for 7:45. I was like, quarter to 8. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh. Anyway, John, just in general, a little look at last night, a little look at Spurs as we are. I flicked on last night. I got into bed, flicked on a few YouTube channels. I'm still seeing a lot of people seem very unhappy. Mawani seems to be getting slated a lot. Some people are still very unhappy with Xavi Simons. We be winning that game 5-0. We gave away too many chances. Are we at the stage, Sean, where it's now getting over analytical? Like, are we over analyzing every single game and every single moment of every game?
Yeah, 100%. That's what we do here, isn't it? That's what we do. You know?
Sure.
I don't know, when you stream every day and there's only 2 games a week to talk about. I mean, imagine if there was only 1 game a week to talk about, you would be literally like microscopically going through every single pass and going, well, he's fucked up there, so give him a 3 out of 10. He's a good one there. We'll notch him up to a 4. You know, I think sometimes you've got to let sleeping dogs lie and just sort of, you know, just let things sort of bake out. No one's perfect. No one's going to get every single decision right. On the most part, last night I thought the team played well. I don't think it was a great game, but I think it was a really weird, sort of interesting game to watch because of the way that Slavia Prague set up and then how we adapted to it, which I think I said this to you last night, mate. I don't think that we wouldn't have had much time to have been able to have implemented this. You know, we almost went to sort of Ange Ball settings, but I don't think it was. Like, Ange Ball was kind of very, you know, invert the wings, invert the fullbacks, and then, you know, stick to the structure. I think the structure yesterday was kind of like just pull people out of position. And so with that, you just float around. And so you see Jed Spence playing as a 10 because in a man-to-man team press opposition, you know, there's only a couple of players on the pitch that aren't going to really get man-to-man pressed. And most of the time, that's the fullbacks. So the fullbacks then can come in and do a little bit more damage. But that comes with, risk, as we saw with Ange Ball, right? Like, and against better teams, if you do that the whole time, and then when you give the ball back, you're going to get turned over down the width because your players are caught out. So you have to take risk, right? You have to take some risk to sort of make it work. I thought yesterday we were the better team. It is a Champions League game, Savva. Like, people sit there and think, like, you know, we should be walking past these teams. We were like, we're not a Champions League level team, really, are we? We got in by the back door,
right?
And I know we're better than Slavia Prague, and that I know we are technically, but at the same time, it's still a European game. 3 points, a lot of money on the line. You know, it's other things that come into the site, that into the kind of the pie, the recipe of influence there. And I think we ultimately handled we handled a difficult challenge that we haven't really had to face too many of, where you just get aggressive, nasty, kind of super press. I think we came through it. It was a difficult challenge. And like I say, I don't know how many minutes we would have had on the training ground to have practiced for that. So to have sort of figured it out in real time, I think ultimately I'm very satisfied. Yeah,
it's interesting, isn't it? I actually thought that Prague were quite adventurous, to be honest. I wasn't really expecting that from them. I thought they really went forward, gave it a go. I thought they actually had some nice interchange. I just don't think they had the players to hurt us. But Sean, I think you're spot on. I think the thing is, because we snuck in through the back door, I think that's getting overlooked. I feel like people are acting as though we're a team that finished 4th or 5th, that were playing well, winning games regularly, and had a Champions League squad. We've gone into it by hook or crook. And look, we've lost one game. You would expect that. I mean, by looking at the fixtures we've got, you would expect to win the home games that we have. Monaco's a tricky one. I know people said, oh, we should be battering Monaco, but this is a tricky game. Bodo, look, it is what it is. And then PSG, you expect to lose. So I think we've done all right. And if I had said to you, Sean, at the beginning of this campaign, look, after the first 6 games, with 1 away game and 1 home game to go, we're sitting 1 point outside the top 8. We've just beaten Slavia Prague 3-0 at home, Copenhagen 4-0. You would have taken it, wouldn't you? Like, you would have said, yeah, that's fine. But now even 3-0 wins don't seem to be enough. Like, I saw somebody on YouTube last night, I'm not going to mention any names, say, yeah, but we only won because of 2 penalties and an own goal. And you're like, but we had to win the penalties and we had to put them in a position to score the own goal. Like, so it just feels to me like it's a bit overcritical right now. And I'm sure me and you are part of the problem as YouTubers, but it does feel ultra critical from our fan base right now. Oh, I think we've lost Sean. I think we've lost him.
No, sorry. Yeah, I'm back.
Oh,
my internet's scratchy.
Yeah, I just feel it's just a bit ultra critical, Sean. And I think just maybe taking a little step back and realizing this isn't a Champions League squad. If we're going to be brutally honest, it's not. It's probably a Europa League squad because we won the Europa League, right? So
nobody is perfect all the time, right? Like, even Arsenal, who have been, brilliant in their ability to draw out results until recently, or they dropped a couple of points, obviously. They haven't been brilliant and perfect in the way they've gone about it. They've been perfect, almost perfect in their output, but their input hasn't been sensational. Yeah. Manchester City dropped points. These guys have got infinitely better teams than us. You look across Europe, Real Madrid, chaos at their club. Nobody has it easy all of the time. So to sit there and microanalyze a game that you've won, looking for reasons to say that was shit, I think it's okay to sit there and have an issue. If you genuinely feel like Thomas Frank isn't the guy and you've made your mind up, I think that you're like anyone that goes too early with an opinion in football, and then they become embedded in it. Saying this to Johnny earlier, I was like, you're a glutton for punishment. It's okay to have a take, but like, don't attach yourself to the opinion, because then you're going to be forever.
We'll find out what Sean said in a minute. Yeah, he's back. He's back. What we heard was, because then you're going to that you align your opinion.
If you attach yourself to opinions, you're going to spend your whole time trying to defend it. right?
Yeah,
And then and things are going to change very quickly. They always change incredibly fast in football.
Like Lubo with his youth players. What you mean, for example?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or like like I'll throw myself under the bus. I came into the content. Oh, is it still? Am I still here? Sorry, man. I don't know what's going on. I came into the YouTube space and I decided to be a contrarian on the Daniel Levy thing. And then I'm sitting there always defending Daniel Levy, when in reality there are plenty of times when there's nothing to defend, right? But like attaching yourself to an opinion where you feel like your personal reputation or credibility is then attached to something that or somebody that doesn't even know you exist, and his decisions somehow make you like, I'm never going to do that ever again. I'm just going to sit there and go, these people are not me, right? I'll have an opinion, but I'm never going to be too forthright with it, like or like determined for it to be true, because you end up just looking like a donut, because things change so quickly. And no, there's not a single team in football that is perfect. Every team, even the very best teams with the very best players, have, make mistakes.
Well, look at Liverpool. Look at Liverpool. Yeah. I mean, if you had spoken to any Liverpool fan, 4 months ago, and said Arne Slot's going to struggle, Liverpool are going to be miles off the top of the table, you're going to lose 9 games in 12, whatever it is, people will go, "Oh, shut up, you don't know ball. You don't know ball." And then here we are 4 months later, nearly every Liverpool channel's got a title of "It's time to go." Yeah. Sorry, Slot, you've outstayed your welcome. Now Salah. In the summer, Salah was, he must stay. He must stay. Give him 500 grand a week. He can't leave. Now, 4 months later, get him out of my club. It's terrible. So, yeah, you're right. And I think that's what I've learned, especially being on YouTube. I'm not going to die on a hill for anything. If I'm wrong about a player, I'll happily be wrong about a player. If I'm wrong about a manager, I'll be happy. Look, let's have a little look at that, right, Sean? Look, I was watching Sky Sports Monday Night Football, and I know you were probably streaming with the Spurs 5, and it was really interesting. And I'm not sure if you've seen the 26-minute video that they put out from James Maddison talking about his career, talking about he sat on it's the one of him sitting on the sofa talking for 26 minutes. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I haven't seen it. No,
I'll send it over to you. It's a really good watch, because first of all, James Maddison comes across brilliantly. He's a really, really elegant speaker. And he talks about his journey from Coventry City youth team to all the way to Tottenham and playing for England. And he talks about the difference between playing in the youth team and what it's like now playing with men. So I thought that was really apt for what our fan base talk about a lot. And then he was talking about issues behind the scenes that fans don't see. He said the expectation on you every game is delivered. He said, but they don't see what's going on with your confidence, with your move. And is there anything wrong with your kids and your family and your wife? And it's a really good watch. But it really made me think, Sean, about Xavi Simons being the case in point in this. And Xavi Simons, for me, I think we started to see, listen, there were always touches and glimpses of it in the first 3 months, but never a performance that he strung together where we went, that's why we signed him. Last two games, from your point of view, is he looking like the player we signed? Is he looking like that guy that's getting on the ball and going to be the creator at Tottenham Hotspur?
Yeah, I'm really liking this. It's nice to see a smile on his face. It's nice to see the guys give him the penalty last night. And also, by the way, giving the penalty to Kudus. Just nice little touches. I don't know who was the captain last night. Was it Romero?
I think it was Romero, yeah.
Yeah, so nice to see that kind of let's get some of these guys some output so that their input can be reflected and rewarded, and that both of them put them away. It's nice to see a smile on his face. And I remember the guy, I think I told you this the other day, that my mate, or mine and Johnny's friend Gary, who's employed, he doesn't work for Tottenham, but he's at Tottenham all the time doing medical. He's in the medical department or whatever, or works around there selling. I don't know. Anyway, he was like, I did say to you a while back, Sean, that like you're going to see a much better version of Xavi Simons, because until now he's been living out of a hotel or staying at the training ground or whatever, and it's been, he's just bought his house, he's just moved in, his family are over now. So you can see in just around the training ground, even before his first performances, you can see that he's happier and just more relaxed. He's got a nicer environment around him. And obviously then that, not playing 4 games, then playing, doing well, getting a goal, getting an assist. Then last night having another good shift. I really hope that that's now the start, the catalyst for him to really come alive, because I never doubted him, mate. I never doubted him on his. He's such a Luddite, isn't he? Comes in whistling.
Lubo, stop looking at the camera. Stop looking at the camera, because if you crash, it would be the end of all of us. Yeah, no, Sean, you're absolutely right. And
never doubted his talent, mate. I said to you guys, like, he was the one for me. Like when I know he wasn't supposed to be the guy, but we were supposed to get Eze, but then we landed on Xavi. I did a video going, I'm more happy with that than I would have been with Eze. You know, I just think that Xavi Simons is an absolute baller of a talented player. Obviously, things take a little bit of time, and I hope he continues to improve. If he's wrong, if he falls off again or whatever, then I'll own it. But I've watched that kid for a few years at all of his different places, and I've always just thought he's just such a breath of fresh air, and he's a delight to watch. So hopefully we'll see more and more of it.
And Luba, let me ask you, because Xavi got two man of the matches now in a row for Tottenham. I thought again yesterday he showed. I thought first half I thought we struggled to get him into the same pockets of space as we did against Brentford. Second half I thought he got a lot more of the ball and was really driving into those dangerous areas. For you, Lubo, Xavi just starting to show signs of the player we thought we were signing?
Yeah, definitely. You know, Slavia Prague set up, and it was pretty much man for man, wasn't it? So it's just about getting the right ball into Xavi, so he could spin his defender and get into those pockets of space where we had the extra man. And second half, he was a brilliant exponent of that. It was good. It was good. Listen, it was an okay performance. We did a job. Another team will score one or two against us if we defend like that. But listen, 3-0, you can't complain, and it sets us up nicely for the next two games. And Simons is just going to improve game by game now, isn't he? So
I did watch. I've got to say, Lubo, and big up. Hopefully he's watching. But if Mr. Box Office, if you are watching, love you, Alex. But I saw you last night on We Are Tottenham TV talking about how you don't rate Xavi Simons. And I'm thinking to myself, come on, dude. Like, surely you watch Xavi and you see there's a footballer in there. He's got a lovely touch. He's got a good range of passing, low centre of gravity. And you know what I like about him, lads? I love that he for a small guy, he wants to have the fight. He's not always going to win it.
Yeah.
He's going to get out muscle, but he doesn't mind going in, does he, Sean? Like, he goes in for the battle and he wants to tackle back, and he loves that fight as well. I like it.
Yeah, no, he is physical, isn't he? He gets involved, he gets stuck in.
Oh, well, Sean, you pick up.
What was the question, mate? Sorry, about Xavi?
Yeah, just about not just about his ability on the ball. Lubo's still talking to himself. Lubo hasn't realised. All right.
Oh, dear.
When he gets back on, I'll just go, I agree with that. I completely agree. But he's probably on a tangent about Archie Gray about now, isn't he?
100%. He's disappeared. He's disappeared off to about Daniel Levy. Oh, did you think Daniel Levy's getting investigated by Enoch?
What?
Yeah, there's a new audit. They're doing. I said that it's a bit kind of a bit punchy, but they're undertaking a whole new audit into his entire commercial. I've just done a video on it. Into his entire commercial decision-making process, and basically, like, the investigations of, from what I can gather, around were the valuations on the certain deals correct? Why did certain deals not happen? Like the stadium naming rights. Why did are the rumors correct that he basically cop blocked all of the investment opportunities because they just sort of let him get on with it? And nobody really, Enoch sort of audited him. So as long as the numbers were good, then he's cool, right? But so
he's not in the background still pulling strings like most people will tell you when they say, "Oh, I don't believe he's not there."
It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like he's still obviously an owner, but I'd imagine that he's going to get bought out at some point. You know?
But
it's so being really interested, being investigated here.
Even when people leave this football club, have you noticed, for one reason or another, whether it's positive or negative, we can never let go. And I'm going to give you some examples, right? Harry Kane does not stop getting talked about, right? I get it. Top goal scorer in our club's history. Harry Kane, everyone's now a Bayern Munich fan, right? Yeah. I was last night for my ACCA, but everyone's a Bayern Munich fan. When Pochettino left to PSG, our fans did not stop talking about him. They were buying PSG shirts. Sonny comes back. The last 15 minutes before the game on TNT was all about Son. Yeah. You know, don't worry about the players being ready for a game. They're all hugging and crying. Like, you're about to play a Champions League game. Daniel Levy.
Ange, we can't move on from Ange. We can't move on from Daniel Levy.
Right, can't move on from Ange, can't move on from Levy. We genuinely struggle at this football club to move on from anyone. We're like that guy that cannot let go of his ex-girlfriend. Like, you know, like they make Netflix documentaries about.
Yeah. They're setting up fake accounts. She's blocked you on Instagram, so you've got 14 different accounts, and you're looking at every single one of her.
Yeah. I've got 95 different Facebook accounts just so I can see who she's out with at the weekend type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is funny because when you get married, you don't care about that stuff. Your wife tells you where she's going. You go, I'll have forgotten that in 5 minutes.
Just get home safe, right? Just get home safe.
Yeah. Just let me know if you get, just get an Uber. I'm not picking you up. That's love, that is right there.
Yeah, love and trust.
Absolute love. But it's listen, I really think he's coming to his own. And what I think is really, really important is, you know, we did lose a lot of the goals and assists from last season, and we needed to find some of it this year. And goals is one thing, but creativity is a very difficult thing to come across, guys, isn't it? It's not a yeah.
When did you switch across from Simmons to Gray? Sorry, I lost you for a few minutes.
What are we? What is that? What is happening here? What is happening here?
Lubo's on his way to a sales call, so he's switching into like feisty Lubo mode. Yeah, like little jokes, little things. He's on his way to get some business.
Do you think when Lubo turns up at a customer, he's got a PowerPoint presentation, and right slap bang in the middle of the presentation is just a slide, which is a picture of Archie Gray? Do you know what I mean?
I would say yes. If you replace PowerPoint presentation with Filofax of old laminated sheets.
Lubo, do you know how to use PowerPoint?
Don't worry about me, Sav.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me.
Hang on, let me get this right.
I was just
Your
saying,
son
listen,
or daughter
I don't
know how to use PowerPoint, don't they? Your kids know how to use PowerPoint. Yeah, I thought so. But yeah, look, it is, Lubo, it is important because, as I was saying, when we talk about the creativity, we have lost Son. And whatever we think of Son over the last few years, his numbers are good. We have lost Kulu, whose numbers are up and down, but there's numbers. We have lost Maddison, and I'm going to show you some numbers in a minute to just how underrated James Maddison is, by the way, and what we're missing from him. Because James Maddison is one of those players for me, Lubo, and I'm tying this all into Xavi Simons, that when he's playing, I think he's really undervalued in terms of his technical ability, his skill set, setting tempo, goals, assists, free kicks, corners. When he's not playing, I think we really miss it. So, Lubo, for me, Xavi Simons has got to start taking that mantle off of James Maddison, hasn't he? Is the long-winded way of asking that.
Yeah, of course. Now, listen, it's wins. The more wins you get, the more confidence it breeds. And that goes for all the players. And as I said last night, I hoped and thought that, that the Fulham game was a watershed. And since then, Spurs have moved forward. And Simmons has been the catalyst in the last two home games. It was full of fights, and Romero leading the fight on last Tuesday. And the last two home games have been a bit about Simmons, so which is great. And hopefully we can go to Forest now. Xavi can carry on, and it'll be great when Maddison does come back, because to have the two of them together will be superb.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And as I said, Luba, I don't know if you saw. I was really, really impressed. I watched the. There's a 26-minute video, Lubo, of Maddison from Monday night, talking about his career, talking about the step up from youth to pro football, talking about, when players need to constantly impress and their numbers and stuff like that. And it really made me think I'd love to see him and Simmons together. I'd love to see their connectivity, their passing. And I really think we're going to be a different team when we have both of them in the 11. Do you think there's a way to get both of them in?
There's always a way to get both of them in. You just got to be a little bit. You've got to think outside the box sometimes in terms of team systems. You can always get them. Listen, you've had Grealish and Foden and Silva all playing together at City.
Yeah.
So I don't see any reason why you can't get Simmons and Maddison together, and maybe Kulu. Listen, maybe you play one up top, with Maddison and Simmons behind. Who knows? You might play three at the back. Next season when Maddison's back, if you've got three at the back with Vuskovic involved as well, and if you've got two really good wing backs, could be Porro and Udogie, could be better. All of a sudden, you got yourself a team. By the way, I got cut off before. I can't remember who's of a ball to Porro when Porro got pulled down for the penalty.
Oh my God, are we going to have another show where Archie Gray is just lavished with praise because he made a pass? Oh my God, you are shameless.
What have I missed?
Basically, what you've missed, Sean, is when you started this show, Sean, by saying when somebody aligns themselves to an opinion so much that they will die on that hill, Lubo's gone immediately there. What did you think of? Listen, Gray's pass for Porro getting found the penalty was a lovely pass, no doubt about it. But again, I'm going to say the same thing for Gray yesterday as I did against Brentford. I didn't think he was as good against Brentford. I thought it was okay. I think he works hard, he runs about. For me, not confident enough. For me, I really want to see him take a game and say, right, I'm the number 8. I'm the ball playing midfielder. Let me dictate. Whereas I thought yesterday's game was a little bit more. We saw the other side of him, which was more of the interceptions and the duels type side of him. But
mate, look at this. Okay, can I share my screen on your thing?
Yeah, sure.
I'll do that. Present. Share screen. I love SofaScore's got a new feature. I don't know how long it's been there for. How do I do this? And you can see. I
thought he was okay. I just feel like when players are doing okay now, people are taking the okay and trying to turn it into something that it isn't. Yeah. And that's what's frustrating me with our fans.
That is just quickly, Lubo, just quickly. Just want to give a little bit of update. That is Archie Gray's pass map. Right, and the direction of travel is from left to right on the screen where the arrows point. How many of those are sideways or backwards? And the ones that are forwards, apart from the long one that was into the corner that got the penalty, right, the one that Lubo's talking about, there's probably 2 forward passes that are also sideways passes, which is not a problem, but that are more than about 5 meters. The vast majority of his passes are backwards.
And Sean, before Lubo answers that, Sean, if that was Bentancur, people would have this up on screen and they would be berating him for he doesn't pass forwards. I'm telling you, I don't mind Archie Gray. Every pass is a really safe 5 yards pass. I'm just struggling. I think the problem for me, Sean, right now, I'm struggling to see what the X factor is for him to play. It's not that he can't be decent. I just don't know what he does that none of the others do.
He's not standing out. But none of them are particularly standing out to me.
I agree.
And that's the problem. We have.
I agree.
We talk about depth, right? I feel like we've got a swimming pool of talent, but it's the same depth at the shallow end as it is at the deep end. Like, you don't want it. There's no diving allowed in the swimming pool because you're going to crack your head open. But you can probably get in the swimming pool and be up to your chest height. We have decent amount of depth, but it's definitely no Mariana Trench. Everyone's about the same standard. And I also liked what Tim Sherwood said about we've got a lot of the same profiles,
Agreed.
A lot of the same players. They're all very similar in what they do in the midfield. And That's the problem. And like I say, look, Archie Gray, I thought had a good game, but when I looked at those stats last night, the passing stats, and I was like, that's just a little insight, isn't it? There's only one forward pass there that is positive, really positive. And look, he yielded a penalty. So
yeah, sure.
You know, do more.
Sean, listen, before I bring Lubo in, as I've said, I'm all for players building and growing and learning, but I just don't. I feel like in my chat, all this kid needs to do is one good pass, and people go, God, didn't Gray have a good game? And when I'm actually watching, I'm going, I don't think he did anything. I think if that had been Bentancur, if that had been Sarr, if that had been Højbjerg, then we would have all gone, well, they've not done anything. But because it's Gray, I feel like our standards have dropped so much that we're elevating very average performances, Sean, into, cool, he's good. I mean, he's okay. I know Lubo wants me to say for me, last night from Gray was a 6 out of 10 performance. Didn't do anything for me where I go, you must start.
That's exactly what I gave him as well, 6 out of 10.
Fair. Oh, Lubo.
But then you come in waxing lyrical about a 6.
No, about the
sounds like me when I used to come home from the pub on a Friday night. Lads, I fucking pulled an absolute corker. What was she? This stands. I scored 6 out of 10.
Sean, how long did it take you? How long did it take you to get to where you got to? You know, where you're hosting the Spurs 5. Come on. You know, listen.
It's like turning on a tap, mate. It's like turning on a tap with me, mate. Day one, just press record.
But when you first, but when you first start, Sean, when you first started, you weren't as fluent as this, were you? And I liken that. You know, that's a good analogy for Sean Butler and Archie.
Savva, can you see that Lubo's in salesman mode? He's driving to sales me. The way he's trying to get me to agree with his point by somehow giving me a compliment.
Yeah.
You think I'm going to fall for that bollocks, Lubo? What are we doing here? You have to get up very early in the morning to catch me in bed, sunshine. Yeah. I'm not falling for that shit.
Lubo, what time's your sales pitch this afternoon? What time's your sales pitch?
Oh, I don't know. I've got 4. No, I've got 4 more sales pitches on. I don't know how long they'll take. I've just done one big show for a new customer that was good fun with a Derby fan as well. So there you go.
Yeah. But what I will say,
try better, mate. Try better with your backhanded compliment, sort of trying to get winning people over with yes men tactics. Come on now, mate. I've been around the block.
Lubo, you might want to hear this because I'm about to give Archie Gray some credit here. What I will say is I've been really disappointed with Sarr and Bergvall lately, like when they've come on to the pitch in games. Sarr, for me, I think we're really starting to see is really not a technical footballer, Lubo. He just looks like a rabbit in headlights with a football. And Bergvall, I'll tell you what, that boy loves running into people. He absolutely loves running around and giving away free kicks. And Gray, for me, is more calmer than those two. That's what I'm going to say. I don't think any of them, you know me, Lubo, I don't think any of them should be in a midfield for Tottenham Hotspur. But hey-ho, this is where we are. But at the moment, he is better than Sarr and Bergvall. So there you go. That's a compliment, isn't it?
Yeah. No, yeah, listen, from you, that's high praise. Bloody hell.
What, 3 players I don't really rate?
You're trying to schmooze me now, Sav. But the thing is, look, hang on, Lubo. I mentioned Højbjerg. Hang on.
Go on.
So who? Pardon?
I mentioned Højbjerg, and Ellie's turned up in defence mode for Højbjerg in the chat.
I see. I thought Ellie was into Madison.
I know. Ellie heard Højbjerg, and she's like, no, my Højbjerg, he tried forward pass. It's so funny.
There's another lady who dies on the hill. She changed her name though. She used to be Queen Ellie Højbjerg. She gave him up. When she got divorced from Højbjerg, she gave him up.
She's Queen Ellie 5 after the Spurs 5 now. She's dying on a hill for you lot. She's dying on a hill for the Spurs 4-5. Sorry, Lubo. Go on. Talk to me. Sarr, Bergvall, Gray. Talk to me.
All I've said about Gray is that give him 5 or 6 games. Let's see if he is up to it. and it, you know, and if the promise materialises into something more, you know, something more solid, something more mature. So that,
He's
you
not
know,
going to play
he's
against
given him
Forest,
games.
though,
He's
Luke.
played him.
You wouldn't play him against Forest, would you?
Yes, I would.
Oh, really?
No,
Yes, I
you
would.
wouldn't. No, you get
In that
Yes, I
physical
would.
battle
Yes,
with
I would.
Sangara,
Gibbs
Ibrahim
White,
Sangara and
Sangare.
Douglas Luiz. What are we doing?
Yeah.
here?
He'll get eaten
I
alive.
would. No, if you've got, I must say, listen. Unfortunately, he'll play Palhinha and Bentancur together.
Hang on.
I can't
When you say
stand that.
unfortunately, you hang on. You know, this is about that moment where I wish I had Sean's little flip-flop video that he created, because you told everyone it's good away.
But he's moved on. No, but Frank's moved on from that now. And he wait. He's changed his tactics, and he's becoming more progressive. And now keep it like that. Keep it like that. Don't play so much on the counter attack. Forest are 17th. Let's go there and let's take the game to them. Let's not play on the counter attack, which has worked very well earlier in the season. But Forest are 17th. I want Spurs to go there, take the game by the scruff of the neck, go and get a 2 or 3-0 win on Sunday.
Aren't we doing this thing? Listen, we're doing that thing again though, where we just think we can just rock up to Forest.
No, I'm not saying.
And win 3-0. Hang on, let me talk. Let me.
Okay, go on.
I think the Sean will tell me if I'm wrong here. I think the point that Sean was making was that Forest, whether they're doing well or not, they're physical. You look at Milenkovic, Murillo. You look at Douglas Luiz, Anderson, Morgan Gibbs-White, Sangare. They're powerful. And the one thing we've seen is Archie Gray, while he's good with the 5-yard passes, in the duels and the battles, he is very lightweight. Would we really want him to start in that midfield against Forest?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
You wouldn't?
No.
I feel it needs. I feel like we need some muscle.
I think you need Bentancur and Palhinha back, to be honest, for that one.
Yeah, Bentancur, Palhinha. Let Simmons do the stuff the other way.
With Simmons.
Yeah, Simmons 100% starts.
Yeah.
Who would you play up front? You keep it.
Mawani
and Kudus, Richie, and Mawani up front.
Yeah. I'd keep the same front four as that played against Brentford, and I would go Palhinha and Bentancur and let them have the battle. The way that Palhinha and Bentancur battled against Villa's midfield three. This is the thing. Because Archie Gray's had a couple of okay performances, I still don't look at him and think that physically or imposing that he's ready. And that is what I think we saw Sean against Newcastle. That's where I thought in the midfield battle. I know Gray didn't play in that game. That's where I thought we looked really weak against Newcastle's powerful midfield.
Yeah. And that's why we had to go over the top.
Agreed.
Yes, correct.
By the way, I'm not against... I mean, against Forest, I think that they might be powerful, but they're not as technical. Like Newcastle have got an unbelievably technically great midfield and also an incredibly powerful, physical, fast, strong, big, midfield as well. They've just got a wonderful balance. Whereas I don't think like Sangare is not a brilliant footballer. He's a decent footballer, but he's obviously a powerful guy. Douglas Luiz, not quite at his usual level, but still very capable. And we obviously know how good Anderson is, and Morgan Gibbs-White, depending on which ones they use. But if necessary, you can. I've said this from day one. Like you can use Romero. Like you can play Palhinha and just let him do his thing. And people that get pissed off with Palhinha not being a great baller and therefore he's a mess. He isn't. He tidies up so much shit. He's so good at tidying up the problems before they become problems that he flies under the radar to people that are not really observing what it is that he does and what his role is. And yes, it would be great to have a six that could do all of that and then also be the deep line playmaker, but he isn't that, and we don't have that option. So it is what it is. So what you do, you give the ball to Romero, who's the best part. I think Romero's the best passer in our team, if I'm entirely honest, him or Porro, and Porro is inconsistent with it at the moment. Romero can ping a ball.
Agree. Yeah.
Romero can really ping a ball fast forward. I might get Romero's stats up on the passing because he's so consistent with his passing. I mean, he whips them in hard and he gets them where they're supposed to go.
You know why he has to be so bloody good with the passing, Sean? Not saying he's not, because he is, but you know why he has to be more than ever? Because we don't have that midfielder that does it instead of him, right? Most clubs you watch Forest. Forest will give the ball to Elliot Anderson and let him make things tick. Right? I watched Palace the other day against Fulham. Now, don't get me wrong, Palace weren't good to watch, but everything went through Adam Wharton. Right, everything. Adam Wharton got the ball off the centre backs and he dictated. We don't have that, and Gray still isn't that guy, right? And can I just say something? This is the problem I'm seeing. Hang on. I'm seeing so many people in the chat say it's Forest. We should just rock up there and win 3-0. They're shit. Anyone know how many games in Forest's last 10 that they've lost?
Probably 2 or 3.
Since Dyche has come in.
I think it's since Dyche has come in.
Is that across? That's all competitions, yeah.
All competitions.
3.
2.
2 is it? 2.
Right.
Wow. Yeah.
So Nottingham Forest have lost 2 in 10 in all competitions. They've kept a number of clean sheets, right? So when we sit there and go, they're shit, we should just rock up. Guys, we're not this steamrolling team that are flying in the Premier League that just rattle win after win after win. No. And
the pendulum in the mindset of the Tottenham fans has gone that way now.
But it's mad. Last week, people have been going, can't see where we're getting a win. Now we're saying, like this, Marios, when you're saying, who did they play, right? Liverpool. They battered Liverpool 3-0 when you're saying, who have they played? They beat Leeds 3-1. They beat Malmo. They beat Wolves. They drew with Man United. They've beaten Porto. Like, when we're saying who have they played, there's a mixed bag in there of the Liverpools, the Man U's, and then the Portos and the... Listen, do I want to win? Everton. Yes. But can we stop this notion of fans thinking we're just going to rock up everywhere and batter teams? This is where...
It is winnable. It's a winnable game, though.
Yes. Sean, I think it's winnable. And I'd love Spurs to go and win 3-0, Sean. But the problem is, my issue with this is what fans do like that, Marios. They go, we should batter them. Then, if you get the draw or win 1-0, they start going, see, the football's shit, Frank. And I think we're putting unrealistic expectations on how good this team is at the moment. For me, go there, battle, but you're going to have to battle.
We won't smash them 3-0, but we a 2-1 edgy game. Easy, not easy, but it could easily happen. Yeah,
sure.
2-1 edgy game, or it'll be a goal in it. I think it'd be an interesting game. It'd be a really interesting game. Tottenham now with this sort of renewed confidence in themselves, certainly at least away from home, a resilience. When even if you do go down, you're not out of the game. We've gone down two times twice. We lost. We went down 2-0 to Brighton, fought back, done okay against Newcastle as well. I think that Nottingham Forest will also think that they can have a go at us, and I think they've got players, and I think Dyche is resilient. It's going to be an interesting game. Be a really interesting game. Looking forward to it.
I'm not saying we can't win.
Would you play, Sav? Yeah. Would you do a man-to-man? Would you do a Polinia on Anderson?
No.
I wouldn't do a man-to-man because I think they'll mix it up. But what I would do is I've just looked at their last few games and they've played Gibbs-White, Anderson and Sangare in that midfield, or Luis. Powerful. Like, you've got one guy who gets on the ball and dictates in terms of Anderson, brilliant passer. Gibbs-White is a powerful runner that somebody's going to have to keep an eye on. And then you've got Sangare or Luis, who are big physical units. If Spurs go with, let's say, Bentancur and Gray, it's very lightweight compared to what Nottingham Forest are putting in. And we know they're going to fight. We know what a David Moyes, we know what a Sean Dyche team is going to offer, right? They won't be pretty, but they will be physical. And I just think if you've got Simmons and Gray in a midfield three against their three, I don't know. For me, I just think it's a little bit powder puff again, for me.
Okay.
That's, powder puff for me.
Yeah, I think if you go man to man, like if you're doing a team man to man, I don't think Tottenham have done that, and it's not something we spend a lot. We haven't got enough time on the training ground to implement it. It might be something we eventually pivot towards, but we're one of the few teams that haven't tried it or don't do it. A lot of teams are doing it more and more often. Not the way that they did it last night, though. Last night was just was just relentless. But if you're going to put Polina on a player like Anderson, he's very good at occupying spaces that are unorthodox and unconventional. And second of all, I think he can move faster. He's too mobile. He's more mobile, and so he'd be able to escape that man marking with clever movement, because Polina is a little bit too sluggish in that regard. So I don't think we should do that. No.
I don't think there's the legs in midfield to do it, Sean. I truly don't. I think when you've got a lot of, look, if you are Arsenal and you've got a Declan Rice who's just got an engine forever, or Chelsea with Caicedo with that engine, I think you can do that. You can say to one of them, just follow this guy. Paulinho has not got the legs that he used to. Bentancur's not got the legs that he used to. Gray's not experienced enough to do it. He's never done that in a game against those sort of players. So, again, for me, every conversation comes down to this midfield for me at Spurs. Every conversation is just, I just feel like it's going to be an issue. But Lubo, do you think he goes back to that front four for Sunday? Do you think he goes back to Richie, Mawani, Kudus and Xavi? Do you think that's the front four he goes with, or do you think he packs the midfield?
Who are you asking?
Lubo, but it looks like
I hope so. I think so. Dear. I mean, it's that's the choice, isn't it? It's that's what he's got to decide. You talk about mobile players. Well, the mobile players you've got are Bergvall and Saul.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Can you hear me? Can
you hear
me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you hear me, Sam?
Oh,
yes.
He's grey dreaming.
Yes, Lubo, we've got you.
Hello.
Oh,
yeah,
Lubo.
can you hear us, Lubo? He can't hear us, can he? Sean, tell me what you would do. Tell me what you would do. Nottingham Forest away. How are you lining up? I think like the back four picks itself, right?
Yeah, back four picks itself. I go for Polina, Bentancur, and Xavi. The only concern I have is I think we need to allow one of those two to get forward and support. And if Bentancur doesn't seem to want to do it, if that's by design or otherwise, I'm not sure. If that's a problem, if Thomas Frank decides that's a problem, I'm happy to see Bergvall come in. I'd like to see Polina, Bergvall, and Xavi. We haven't seen the iteration yet. We've seen every other iteration in football of this club, but we haven't seen Bergvall play with Polina and Xavi.
I don't think we've done it, Sean, because I think only my fault. I don't know Thomas Frank, for everyone in the chat has a go at me. I don't know Thomas Frank. I think that he thinks if he played both Bergvall and Simmons, I think that whoever the midfielder is behind them then is left mightily exposed, because Bergvall wants to drive. He wants to drive. He's not a disciplined midfielder. Yeah. He wants to go. Simmons is the playmaker. I don't know.
I'll be honest, though, Sam, I feel like Xavi does actually get stuck in. Like,
yeah, he does. Yeah,
you know, you were comparing earlier Maddison and Xavi. Like, I'm really looking forward to hopefully seeing an iteration in the future where both of those two can be in the same team in like a double 10 situation. That'd be really cool. But Xavi gets stuck into the defensive work more than Maddison did, in my opinion. He gets back and he's quite willing to throw himself around the midfield. Obviously, he's still a little bit lightweight. By the way, have you seen he's put on a bit of weight, old Xavi? His back looks like he's really been doing some gym work to try to muscle up for the season.
Maddison said that he's been in the gym. Maddison was saying the other night that Xavi's got in the gym and he's working hard and he's working out as well. So and again, it's things like that people before, when everyone was getting ripped into him, Sean, and I've not been impressed. People aren't seeing this, right? Like maybe when he was signed, it was, hey, you're going to come in. This first season, we need you in the gym. We need you. Do you know what I mean? This first season, you're going to have to adapt. I think next season will be the season where I think the league wakes up to Xavi Simmons properly.
Yeah.
I think he will be a very much an Eriksen, Maddison type of player in terms of numbers. I just think everyone needs to just give him a little bit of leeway. He's just, you know, but we don't want that, do we, in football? We don't want.
What are you saying about Kolo Muani, though?
I'm saying that James Flower's not a fan. I know that much.
I know James Flower isn't a fan. There's no one. He's embedded. He's embedded. He's got himself on that Muani shit like train, and he won't come off. You know, and the train's going to derail. The train's going to derail because it's picking up too much speed. You know, and you're looking a little bit unsteady there. Flowers. You know, needs to disembark that Muani out train. And get on board the Muani's awesome train. That one's a lot more steady, first class.
Do you know what? Just quickly, before we go to Muani, before I go to Lubo Muani, what I would love, guys, I really hope that this time next season we're at a point where none of us are having to discuss what should the midfield be this week. Like every week, I feel like we're having a conversation of what should the midfield be. With the other clubs around it, you just know. Do you know what I mean? With Chelsea, you know what their midfield is. With Villa, you know from 3 or 4 and they're all good. You know that with City. You know that with Liverpool, Arsenal. That's where I think we need to get to as a club. When the fans know, when we're not arguing, the way, right, like for Sunday, Sean, no one's sitting here debating who should be the back 4, are they? Right? No one's. This is our back 4. That's the best back 4. Go with it. I think we need to get to that with the midfield. But Lubo, Muani seems to be coming in for a little bit of stick from some quarters. He's not sticking the ball in the back of the net, is the argument coming from those quarters. Where are you with Randall Kolo Muani?
He will. He will. But he scored 2 and he scored 2.
You should have a job on Match of the Day with analysis like that. You should. That was
what insight! Unbelievable insight. He will. Next question. Next question. Next question. I've answered your question.
Lubo should be in the White House. Lubo should be in. Mr. President, what do you think of this? I don't know. Next. I just love it. So, Lubo, you were saying he will score goals, will he?
He, of course, will score goals. If anyone remembers, Gary Lineker didn't score a goal for Spurs till the end of September at Norwich. Everybody knew he was going to score and he was going to start scoring. It's the same with Muani. He will start scoring. Listen, he's scored.
He loves it, doesn't he? He loves it. When he said send me the link, I thought, oh, he's back from his meetings. Like,
no.
I didn't know he was driving up and down the country.
He doesn't care what he does to your stream, mate. He called me from outside the PSG. All I could hear was just stadium noise. And people eating hot dogs and French speak. I'm like, Luba, I'm trying to do a pre-match stream here.
He went to the European champions.
Still going.
Yeah. By the way, just while we're waiting for Lubo to get some, I'm sorry, dude. This for me is exactly the type of reason why no one is ever allowed any time. When you say you disagree with this notion of no time to implement process and system, dude, we play every 3 days, right? We play every 3 days, which means you have absolutely limited time on the training ground, right? With a new manager. Right? What are you doing here? This is mental. This is mental. Right now, that excuse could be used for Ruben Amorim. Yeah, Man United play 1 game a week. There's no excuse for Man United to not have their plan sorted out. But Lubo, so Muani, you just said is exactly the same or better than Gary Lineker. Go on, carry on. No.
No, I didn't compare the two. What I said was Lineker took several weeks before he started scoring, and Muani will be the same.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
Didn't Richie in front of goal last night really show why Muani either needs to step up and be that goal scorer, or we need to buy one? Because those 2 chances he missed, Sean. He looked like a guy that is not a natural finisher. A natural finisher, as that ball comes across, has his eye on the ball, knows when to go for it. The first one he scuffed. and then the second one he missed. Pretty poor, right? For an international player, that.
I think, listen, he definitely might not be a prolific goal scorer. That definitely might not be his natural game. And he's not exactly a kid either, is he? He's 26, 27 now? But he definitely is a very, very technical player. I agree with your assessment last night, mate. I think, you keep him, but you don't make him be your striker option, your striker target, right?
Yeah.
You sort of, if you can sign him, sign him. Whatever's going to happen with Solanke, I don't know what's going on there. It's weird how long it's taking, and there's just no detail. I'm pretty sure maybe something else has gone on, but we're just not we're not privy to that information. But but ultimately, if you can't rely on Solanke, then you move ahead without him. Richarlison's coming to the end of his contract at the end of next season. Do you get rid of him after the World Cup? Would he like to go? Or do you let him go for free? You're not going to sign him on a new contract. Either way, if you can keep Mawani, great, because I think he's very useful. I think he's a very, very good player. I think he's fantastic connecting the dots. That takedown on his chest for Xavi's penalty that Xavi won was sensational. He does miss a few too many chances, but I also think there's an element where he just needs to get that monkey off his back as well. If we get if we get a penalty against Nottingham Forest and the same option is there to give it to someone that deserves it, you get him a Premier League goal, just like we did it. We gave it to Matisse Tell last season. We gave it to Kudus last night, to Xavi last night. I don't know why we're being so kind of generous with it, but if this is a thing that's going to continue, the next cab off the rank who needs a goal in the Premier League would be Kolo Muani, and then from there, hopefully, confidence can inspire better outcomes. But yeah, at the moment, he's missing a few too many chances. But his input is fantastic.
I agree. Let me ask Lubo then. Lubo, last night I said to Sean that I'm seeing a lot of conversation about whether or not Muani should be bought. Is he the number one striker? My take on this, Lubo, was, for me, I think we're looking at this with a small club mentality again. For me, I think if we're a proper big football club, I think in the summer you get rid of Valise, Scarlett, Solanke and Richarlison, and you buy Muani and another striker. I think if we're a proper football club, we go and buy we go and buy two minimum, rather than is it Muani, Muani and someone else, right?
Yeah, of course. And the same in midfield. Go and buy two very good midfield players. Sell Sarr, sell Basuma if you can get any money for him.
Great.
Sell Benton Court, and go and get two really good midfield players. Absolutely.
Great.
That's what you do.
Great.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Can I ask? Let me ask a hypothetical.
It's actually quite bright here. It's not great. It's bright here. Sorry.
Lubo, let me ask you this question, right?
You talked about the weather then. Sorry, go on.
Let me ask you a question. If I turn around and said to you, in the summer, Spurs are going to bring in Elliot Anderson, Locatelli, and Conor Gallagher, but it means Sarr, Bergvall, and Gray all go out the other way, would you take it? And there's a reason I'm asking you this. Would you take that?
Would I take it?
I'm offering you Locatelli, Elliot Anderson, and Conor Gallagher, but it means Bergvall, Gray, and Sarr are all shifted on. Would you take it?
Well, no, I'd get rid of Sarr, Basuma, and
no, that's not what I asked. No, we're not. No, and that's not what I asked.
I would have those three midfielders, Polina, Gray, and Bergvall. There's your six.
Not what I asked.
That would be
not
terrific.
What I asked.
No, listen.
Not what I
you
asked.
always call me a politician, and I'm thinking outside the box there, and I'm sort
no,
of
you weren't. That was
areas.
I'm asking you. I'm asking because I'm trying to work out whether it's more important for you to have Gray and Bergvall develop the way you think they will, or if I offered you instead of those three ready-made international footballers right now. I'm trying to work out what you would rather take. So I'm removing all the youth and I'm going Anderson, Locatelli, and Conor Gallagher for Bergvall, Sarr, and Gray.
Would I bring those three in? Yes, but we are that big a club.
He can't answer it.
No,
Sean, it's what you said at the beginning of the show.
Never a straight answer.
Never a straight answer.
The Lubanaut.
I'm asking you, if somebody held a gun to Tottenham's head and said the only way you get these three is if these three go, no other players, these three for these three, would you take it? Yes or no?
So you're leaving your squad short.
Oh my
Locatelli's
God.
over 30.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So you're not actually giving it that much thought, are you, Sam?
No, you're missing, Lubo. You're missing the point.
If you say to me,
oh my gosh.
if you say listen, I would keep Graham Bergvall and I'd buy those 3. There's your answer.
I'm Lubo. I'm not saying what I would do. I'm asking you. This is called a hypothetical, right? If someone held a gun to Spurs' head and said the only way you can have these 3 is if these 3 go. Forget Bentancur, forget Paulinho. I'm saying to you, if the only way you can get these 3 is to let these 3 go, would you say yes? I'm just asking you that simple question. And the fact that your answer is not yes really worries me. It really worries me. I've offered you 3 top international midfielders there, right?
I answered you. No, I answered you. To me, you have both. We're not a small-time club mentality.
Can't do it, Sean, can he?
No,
well, you said earlier about dying on the hill.
Dying on the hill, 100%.
That's been.
This is the thing. It's meant to be a fun. It's meant to be a fun hypothetical that Lubo can't answer because it means saying Bergvall and Gray are not at this football club. Let me tell you, Sean, if someone turned around to me and went, these 3 for them 3, I'm not thinking about it. There isn't even a split second in my mind where I go,
here. Locatelli, Anderson, and who was the third one? Locatelli, Anderson, and
Locatelli, Anderson, and Conor Gallagher. I'd put them with Paulinho, and then I'd promote in the likes of Luca Williams-Barnett and I don't know,
Tyrese Hall or whatever else.
Tyrese Hall. But Lubo's love for these youngsters is such that he couldn't just say, "I'll take that deal." I'll
worry about the future players in the future. For now, let's get some decent players in. And it's not like Conor Gallagher is 32. And Locatelli's like they've still got a good 6-7 years in their career themselves, so we can get a full contract out of them, and then we can find another Bergvall. We can find someone else in a few years' time. Come on now, Lubo. Come on now, Lubo. Can we get some logic?
Listen, my whole thing about Levy has been that he has thought he's made people think like we're a small-time club and we can't have the top players and the top kids. And this is the problem. No, it's not. No, it's not. But it's symptomatic. It's symptomatic of what Levy has done to our fans.
Nothing to do with Daniel Levy, this question. This question is nothing to do with Daniel Levy.
Of course, listen.
Can I tell you, Lubo?
Of course you take. Listen, hang on 1 second.
Go on.
Of course you take you take the 3 best players for your first team,
okay,
naturally. Right, but if you've got rid of all the cover, then if these players start getting injuries like Tottenham normally do, then we're absolutely screwed, aren't we?
Hang on. In my scenario, I didn't say there was no other players allowed to come in. I literally asked you these 3 for these 3, and you've turned it into a Daniel Levy thing. Let me tell you what, right? I'm going to use your Levy rhetoric against you, right? And this is where Sean's flip-flop video is absolutely, it should win a motion picture or an Oscar or something, right? Because it is brilliant. Because you bang on about what Levy's done to the fans, what Levy bought, yet you praise it to the hill. You praise it and praise it and praise it.
No, I don't.
Let me finish.
You've left yourself open. You've left yourself open.
I haven't. Let me finish.
You're going to score a hat-trick.
Let me finish. Right? For me, everyone in this club is always talking about, but what about this kid in 2 years? What about this kid? Fuck that. I want Spurs to buy for now. And if that means some of these youngsters don't make it, I am cool with that. Right? You are the ones saying, we're a big club. We should be challenging City and Liverpool and Arsenal. And none of these clubs are doing what you're saying. None of these clubs in their 6-man midfields have filled it with children. None of them. But you've just answered my question. You want us to have that. City haven't done that. Liverpool haven't done that. Arsenal haven't done that. Villa haven't done that. They've all got a squad full of men in midfield. You want 3 senior pros, 3 children, and then you want to compete with the bigger clubs. So Levy's done the number on you. You are a Levy.
Who said 3 children? No, not at all. You have 4. You have 4 top established midfielders and Graham Bergvall, and then you've also got players like Williams Barnett coming through at the right time. By which time Locatelli will be 32, 33.
Can I ask you a question then? Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
This is the big thing for me, right? I get it. We all want to see youth coming through, right?
Yeah.
I get it. But when we talk about like a Luca Williams-Barnett, for example, who is the golden child of Tottenham Hotspur at the moment, right? He's the one that everyone across Europe is raving about. My question is this. If you have Bergvall and Gray, right? And you're buying these youngsters, at what point do you go, hang on, aren't they absolutely blocking the path for players like Hall, Luca Williams, Barnett, Abbott? Aren't these players coming in and blocking the path?
They have done. Why buy Tell when you got Mikey Moore? Sorry, Sean, but if you're talking like that, no, absolutely.
Sean wouldn't swap Tell for Messi, by the way. He said that to me off stream earlier.
Lubo, I love the fact that you don't want to get called a flip-flop and you try to find a way to navigate around your stance whilst also maintaining your stance by then trying to throw me under the bus and drag me in. I'm not catching any strays on this one. You're the person that couldn't. If you said to me right now, sell Tell, Odebear and Mikey Moore to bring in, I don't know, Malik Fofana, a Yandy Amandi and a Semenyo, you better believe I'm saying yes, please, all day. See you later. Sayonara Tell, sayonara Odo.
Absolutely.
But you can't do it. You can't do it.
But then wants to know why we're not like Arsenal and Liverpool and City. Right?
And still blame Daniel Levy.
And still blames Daniel Levy. Still blame. By the way, didn't Daniel Levy bring in Bergvall and Gray?
Yeah, and Sarr.
And he didn't. That's right. He did. He got it half right. He just didn't replace Højbjerg, Lo Celso, and Skip, did he? With
no, he did. He replaced them with your 3 children. That's what he did.
No, the 3 children that you wouldn't swap. The 3 children that you wouldn't swap for the 3 top midfielders that can help us out right now.
Well, listen,
not only are you a giant flip-flop, Lubo, you are a your logic doesn't logic. I'm gonna have to make another video today about logic. 100%.
Logic, yeah.
Consistency.
Sponsored by Javianas.
Javianas, yeah. Captain Javiana.
Sean, that shadow's coming back, mate. Levy's shadow's coming back. He's there. He'll be back. He'll be back.
Can I tell you what, Sean, right? I've never known an era where this club talk about youth as much as we are right now, whilst blaming the club for having £1 billion stadium and not showing enough what's the word, ambition. It's almost like everyone wants to be right on everything. I want the club to have ambition and buy the best. I also want them to buy loads of kids. I also want the academy players to all come through and have a pathway. And then we're going, how have the club?
I want to blame the owner, but I also want all the players that the owner bought to stay.
I love it. I love it. Honestly, it's almost like we've got to be super fans, right? As I said, I've always had the same stance on this. If a young player comes through and is exceptional, breaks into the first team and is amazing, that is brilliant. But you know what? That's not my first fault. My first fault is, where's the players for now? My first fault is, where's my number 8 in midfield who's going to run the show? Not, should I be arguing about Sarr, Bergvall or Gray, right? And that's unfortunately where we're at. And you know why we're at that stage, right? Because when people like Lubo liked that we bought Gray and that we bought Bergvall and that we bought Sarr, these are the options you need.
Hang on, no, stop. No,
it's true.
I've been very, very, very definite about my points regarding last summer before last transfer window, where I said very clearly, we cleared out a lot of deadwoods. We brought some good kids in, but we didn't buy the established players, and that just wrecked the whole thing last season. So I can't read what you're saying. What's on the screen?
But which other Premier League club relies on 4 to 5 youth players week in, week out? He's right. And then we wonder why we've got no consistency in performance when we've got loads of kids in midfield, kids out wide. Like, what are we... What do we want to do, bro? What do you want Spurs to be in the next 3 to 5 years? What do you want to be as a Spurs fan? What do you want Spurs to be? And I'll ask Sean the same question in a minute.
For me, it's very simple. I've been following Spurs, been going to Spurs for 60 years. I want to see us win the league. Before they put me 6 foot under, I just want to see us win the league once. Okay,
so let me ask then, off the base of that, before I ask Sean, you want to see us win the league, right? Which teams that win leagues do what you and all the other fans are craving for with all this youth?
Okay,
I want a straight answer though, not around that.
Straight answer,
definitive answer. Who does it?
In a squad of 25.
Sure.
I want 19, 20 top established pros and 5 great kids. That's what I want in my squad of 25.
Sure. Okay, but that's not what I asked. Which clubs that have been winning the Premier League do that? Because this is the thing. If you want to be a champ, if you want to be a Premier League winner, hang on. If you want to be a Premier League winner, this is the thing. As harsh as it sounds, and people will go, you don't like youth. As harsh as it sounds, Arsenal, in their pursuit to win the league, are not buying kids, right? Man City, in their pursuit to win leagues and trebles, didn't go out and buy kids, right? Liverpool, in their pursuit to win the league, didn't go out and buy kids. They bought ready-made footballers all over the park. So what makes you think Spurs can do this whilst carrying 5 brilliant youngsters? The two don't go. That's the problem for me. The two don't match up, do they?
By the way, Sar's not even a kid anymore.
No, I know he's not. He's just not a very good adult now. Like, but again, Sean, all the things that people are arguing now for these young players is everything I heard 4 years ago about Sar. He's only 18. Wait till he's 20. He's only 20. Wait till he's 20. 4 years down the line, I'm watching him going, what are we? All right, I've held in. I'm waiting.
Okay, let me pivot, right? Because you do need to have some young players that are coming through, right? And we don't know whether if our youth team players were that good, they'd be in the first team and playing. The fact that they're not tells its own tale. We've gone out and bought too many young players. Of the young players, which ones are the ones that you think have the most potential? Odebear, Tell.
Potential for what? Give me
to become the players that will eventually be first team regulars and that will oust the likes of Madison's or Kudus's or whoever, right? Like, is it of the list? Vuskovic, Phillips, Donnelly, Moore, Tell, Odebear. I don't know if Odebear's still young. He is, isn't he? Yeah. I'm not going to include Sar because Sar's 23. He's old enough. Bergval, Gray. We've got too many of these kids, right? Too many of them. Which one of them do you think has got the... I know you don't rate many of them, but which ones do you think are the top of the pops?
I think you'd have to go with Vuskovic because of the rave reviews that he's getting and the size of him and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't look at any of the others and go, I think you look brilliant. And what I mean is when I look at them technically, when I look at their ability footwork wise, when I look at their skill, I don't look at any of them and go, yeah, you're a really, really good young player. I think they are all mediocre young players that have good moments. There are young players. Listen, by the way, I could be wrong, Sean, because with young players, you don't know. Some hit the ground running at 17.
Yeah, there's an assumption that you always get better and you don't, right? Some people don't.
When I look at really good young players, I'm looking for that one. They don't have to be brilliant. I'm looking for that one thing though that makes me go, that's your selling point. You've got that. I don't see any of that in Moore. I don't see any of that in Bergval. I don't see any of that in Gray. I see that they're going to have good careers. Don't get me wrong. I think they're going to have good careers, Sean. But if the question is, who do I see being above the likes of the Madisons, etc., that for me that take you into that, keep you in that top 4 and win things? At the moment, I'm not really impressed by any of them at that level at the moment. Yeah. And the reason why I think they get more praise than they should, Sean, is because we haven't bought what we need. So, for example, if Spurs had gone out and bought Morgan Gibbs-White and he was playing in the number 8 each week, we wouldn't be having these conversations about Gray or Bergval, right? If Spurs had gone out and bought Savio, let's be fair, just because he was the one we were after, right? We wouldn't be having these conversations about Tell or Odegaard. So I think what we're doing is we're seeing them play when they're not really ready to. And when we're seeing them do just average basic things, like we're seeing Archie Gray pass the ball 5 yards and we're going, oh my God, did you see his pass completion today? Yeah. Right. They're okay, Sean. I don't think any of them, for me,
pass
other
completion
than
is easier when you're passing sideways and backwards all the time, isn't it? Like, come on now.
Right.
You know?
So when I saw for example, when I saw a Declan Rice burst onto the scene for West Ham, Declan Rice went from day one and ran that midfield for West Ham alongside Mark Noble. Like he was immediately, give me the ball, look at me, I'm all action, and it was like, yeah, you're a really good player, and West Ham are gonna, and they did, they got 100 million for him. I don't look at Bergvall and Gray and go, wow, they're that level. I don't look at them as Dele Alli level at that age. I don't look at them as Ledley King level or Sol Campbell level at that age. So
there's enough there for me to want to have. I wouldn't want to sell Bergvall. I'm not attached to Archie Gray. I'm not attached to Pape Sarr. In the summer, I've said I'm more than happy for him to go. Bentancur certainly not. That midfield needs an entirely new roster, in my opinion. But of the midfielders, the one that I would probably keep and just and hope that he can develop and be, restrained a little bit, because when he first came in, he was more of a peripheral vision passer. He was looking up and popping balls over the top. Then suddenly he's become this guy that wants to drive with the ball all the time and becomes a bit of a headless chicken. Still got moments of magic in him that he likes to flick a little bit too much. He does those flicks all the time now. But I just think that, of them all in the midfield, if I was to pick one to keep and nurture, it would be Bergvall for me. And maybe Williams Barnett, but who knows what? Like he scored 5 goals against Slavia Prague under-19s. I mean, amazing, and he seems to do it at every. But who knows, right? He's still a kid, isn't he? So, but yeah, Bergvall for me would be the number one. In the back, I agree, Vuskovic. And then in terms of the options at the top, Mikey Moore, Matthias Tell, Odegaard. I don't know about Mikey Moore. I haven't seen enough. What I've seen him in a Tottenham shirt, I wasn't that impressed. I know he was young, but that's the same with the rest of them. If I'm honest, I probably think that Matthias Tell has more talent than Odegaard, but he's
I
not.
Agree.
I don't think he is. I think Odegaard is showing more promise and is improving more. But there's Matthias Tell for me has more natural talent and natural instinct and fight and desire and will to get to do things with the ball. But again, he really isn't. He really hasn't shown. For those people that said there's a reason why Bayern Munich didn't keep him, I think that's obviously sort of panning out a little bit, right? His name, I always call it Harrods Tupperware, just because he comes from Bayern Munich and people were raving about him 3 years ago. He's still just Tupperware, even if it's got a Harrods brand. Right, and so you pay, you pay a lot of money for someone because of that shit.
Sure, I think the thing is, we should be, when I hear people like Lubo go, we're Tottenham, we're a massive club. Massive clubs don't sit and have these conversations about how many of these kids are going to make it or not. They either do or they don't. We're sitting here with loads of young left wingers, loads of young centre halves, loads of young centre mids, and the likelihood is, people will hate me saying this, Sean, the likelihood is hardly any of them make it, and that is harsh. But it's the truth. Hardly any of them will make it to the point where you go, they are top players. Just because we want them to doesn't mean they will. So for me, I'll say this over and over and over again. If you want to develop a young player and he turns out to be brilliant, absolutely. But right now I'm seeing Bergvall and Gray and Odegaard and Tell all finishing in the same 11. That tells me we're not serious right now as a football club. No other club has 4 kids of that level on the pitch at the same time and then says that they're serious about football. And that's where I always say, I don't think some fans have got the standards that they claim to have. I don't think we have. We praise average footballers.
Listen, before you come in, Lubo, just quickly, guys, I've got to jump. Someone's at the door. So hopefully it's the builder and not the postman. See you guys soon. Thanks for having me.
See you, mate. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Sean. Tell mate,
standards,
this is macro and micro coming in now, isn't it? This is 10 years of bad transfer policies and recruitment. So for me, if I was going to pick 2 players who are out on loan that I think are going to be probably too definite first teamers going forward, I think Vuskovic will be, and I think Mikey Moore will be. They're the two.
Really?
Yeah, they're the two before anybody else. Williams, Barnett.
What is it about Moore? Can I ask what it is? Because I didn't see anything when he played for Spurs that made me go, yeah, you're ready. And I've seen a couple of goals he scored against the likes of Kilmarnock, and people wet their pants for it. Are we rating players based on what they are as youth players and not forgetting the huge step up to playing against men?
Well, City came in for him. Pep came in for him big time. Pep wanted him. The other, not this summer, last summer. And Guardiola doesn't come in for players unless he rates them highly. So for me, Guardiola came in for Mikey Moore. Not this summer, just last summer.
I keep hearing
he
many
did.
times that people came in for players, but then never seem to make a bid. Yeah. Why is this?
No, so I'm not sure whether they would talk, whether City talked to the player or the player's representatives, but there was some definite firm interest from City, and Spurs managed to get him to sign the contract, and kept him. You know,
but they weren't buying him for the first team, were they? Man City wouldn't have bought him and put him straight in the first team squad, would they? He would have been in the youth team.
No. But we're not talking about players coming in. I mean, Vuskovic may be good enough to come in and play as a third centre back immediately. I don't know. The Premier League is far more intense in terms of speed and pace and everything and physicality than the Bundesliga. But he's certainly smashing it up over there. But when you ask the question, which players are going to make it? What time frame are you talking about? 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months? What time frame are you talking? Or what are you saying generally as Spurs players? Which players do you think will come through and definitely be first team?
Lots of them will get some game time. That for me isn't making it. Right? Ollie Skip for me didn't make it at Spurs. I think Ollie Skip was in and around Spurs for a few years, but I'm talking about what Ledley King did, right? I'm talking about what
you're talking about 200, 250 appearances rather than 100.
I'm talking about players that come in and we go, that person is a guaranteed starter week in, week out for years, right? Not bit part player like Jake Livermore, Carroll, Mason, Bentaleb. We could say they all made it, but they didn't make it at Tottenham. And the problem is, I think we're doing it again. I think we are talking about all these kids as though they're all special. There's a massive leap between kids' football and men's football. There's a huge leap. Huge. And you're right, Vuskovic looks like he's going to do it. The others, I'm not so sure.
Listen, we'll have a better idea on Gray at the end of this season, and we'll see. His game's picked up completely under the new manager. Because I mean, Russell Martin was a joke. Russell Martin he played the same style as Ange at Southampton, and he didn't learn, did he? Like Ange didn't learn when he went to Forest. These guys only know one way; they can't change. And more suffered under Russell Martin, but the new guy at Rangers, he's playing well.
But isn't this comment I saw? I thought summed it up right. This is big up to my man Glenn. Said, would we be rating any of these players if they played for another club? Glenn, bang on. I always say this. If these youngsters played for Arsenal, we saw them make their debut, no one's looking at them and going, yeah, they're great. But because they're at Tottenham, we think they're all going to make it. Listen, I'll be honest. What I've seen of Moore, I'm not sure. Listen, there are some that break through and are amazing immediately, right? None of ours are that. Is that fair to say? None of ours are that they go and they get in the team at 18 and we go, wow, look how good they are. None of them are that level, are they?
Well,
like Dele Alli, Ledley King. None of them are that level.
They haven't. Sure. Well, they haven't, have they? So
no,
there's no argument on that. So on that point, Moore unfortunately had a bad injury when he was playing absolutely brilliantly a couple of years ago. And he picked up a bad injury in the Youth Cup. I think it was at Burton. He hobbled off, got taken out, and Listen, it took him a while to get back. Injuries at this stage also can kill a player's career. You know, Dorrington was flying, got a really bad, I think it was the knee ligaments, and all, you know, and hasn't come back, and isn't anywhere near the, you know, the thought process for Frank. I wouldn't have thought. So, you know, for me, I like Mikey Moore. I've watched it. He was way ahead of everybody else at youth level. Sav, way ahead.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't like him,
for these players who do make it.
I'm not saying I don't like him.
Yeah.
I think this is the problem. When we talk about youth players, too many people go, "Oh, Savva doesn't like the youth players." For me, they make it or they don't. That it is that cutthroat. It's all well and good, this romantic notion that they're all great. I keep hearing this is the best crop for years, but I've seen no example over the last 3-4 years that this crop has done anything. Like, I've heard this for years. We heard this about Divine.
Well,
oh my God, Divine's different. Divine's different. Parrot's different. This player's different. Different. And none of them have been different. None of them have done it. So when I keep being told, when I say the best crop of youngsters coming through in 30 years, that's the best crop of youngsters in their age group. Because obviously that's all I've got to judge on. That's all you can judge on. So I'm not saying this is the class of 92. What I'm saying is, for Tottenham Hotspur, and from what I've seen over the years, this has been the best bunch of kids. And you know, for the first time, we got several kids that are doing well with loan spells. You know, Tyree Hall's smashing it up. Abbott was before he had to have his operation. But where?
First, no, okay, but listen, they get parked at a club, and they can only do it at the club that they've gone to. If that's who Spurs think their development will.
But for me, Lubo, what I think is just over the top, and as I always say, I've been very lucky enough to work in youth football at Premier League football clubs, right? I've seen this firsthand, is that every time now in this day and age, because of social media, every time Tyrese Hall scores a goal for Notts County, every time Divine pops one in for Preston, every time Mikey Moore scores for Rangers, it's the superlatives that go with it. Oh my God. Like, a post came through to me the other day. I'm not going to name names. It was someone on X, and it was like, it was after Mikey Moore's goal, and it said, "This boy has to be our left winger next season." Now, I'll be honest. If Mikey Moore starts,
I saw that.
If Mikey Moore is the Tottenham left winger next season, it shows me we have absolutely no ambition as a football club at all. Sorry, it shows we have zero ambition. If that is our starting left winger next season, that shows me. And this is the problem. These kids go to these clubs, do something, and every time they do something, we have to get an update. We have to get a report. Have you seen this? I don't give a fuck about Vuskovic scoring goals for Hamburg. I care what he does as a defender. I don't care that he's scoring goals, right? It's not his job. I care about what he does as a defender. But everyone goes, "Oh my God, he's a monster. He's a big..." It's too much. Every player, according to our fans, is going to make it. It's just too much, Lubo.
Well, you know, it's interesting. The conversation over the last half hour, lots of different things going through my head. Firstly, if you get two players for each position, then obviously you've got to have a top established player in, you know, as number one. And number two for me, listen, if you have two top players, you've got 20, you've got 3 keepers, and then you've got maybe 5 top kids. You've got a squad of 28. And for me, that's utopia. That's what I'd love Spurs to be. We've never been anywhere close to getting 20 really great outfield players.
No, of course we have.
Very few.
But that's what I'm saying. Shouldn't we concentrate on that first, Lubo? Before we concentrate on all these children, shouldn't we concentrate on getting a 20-man squad where you go, 4 or 5 top midfielders? But no, we've got to have this conversation, young kids in midfield. It's just pathetic.
No, listen, we've got what we've got at the moment. And as I said to you, a year or so ago, 18 months ago, Levy was bringing the wage bill down. He was looking to sell, you know, try and move the club on or sell a percentage of the club to investors, trying to make the figures look as good as possible. this is what what's his name said. Who's the agent who posts on Twitter? What's his name? Paul. Can't think. And we bought kids, and we didn't replace the established players who left because it was all about bringing the wage bill down.
Luke, I agree.
And we've suffered since. We should have bought for each of Hoiby, Lo Celso, and Skip that went out. We should have bought 3 established players.
I completely agree. But
not left it with just Benson, Corbasu, Massar, and bringing Graham Bergvall, because that left us weak in midfield.
Listen, I don't disagree with that. But by the way, sorry, I can't take comments like this seriously. You said, so Barca is unserious because of Yamal. No, Yamal is ridiculous. Like, you're talking about a player that
He's a freak.
You're talking about a player that just finished 2nd or 3rd in World Player of the Year. Like, so can we not use examples like Yamal? Now, listen, let me, this is where I like people like this, right? So this guy's come back and said, I think the same as you, but the way you're telling it is too much. Do you know how I know the way I'm telling it isn't too much? Footy Quiz Real. 0.012% make it, right? The data does not lie. 0.012 make it, right? So when you're saying I'm telling it too much, no one can give me examples the other way to prove that I'm wrong, because I'm right. And this is the problem. We go on and on and on about these young players. Every year, there's a different young player that wants to be talked about as though they are the best thing since sliced bread. And for decades, the only 3 that have properly gone on and been brilliant are Campbell, King, and Kane. 3 in 33 years, right? Yes, you're going to get loads of Townsends, Winkses, Mace, sure, but they all get into the first team. They have a couple of years, then they realise they're not good enough and they move on. But the way our fans talk, trust me, Moore's going to be different. Trust me, this guy's going to be different. It's just too much.
So the one area you've got to be careful on is that you're talking about three stars that were right at the top of the game, weren't they? They were all top internationals, Kane, sure. Campbell, and King. But you know, you can't turn around and say Oscar Bob, Rico Lewis are at that level. But Pep thinks they're good enough to bring them in and play them regularly. So you know, those are 2 kids that have come through at City, sure. That are not of that level. So if we got kids coming through that are of that level, would you be happy?
If we had players like Rico Lewis and Oscar Bob coming through?
Yeah.
Yes. You think Rico Lewis has played over 110 games for Man City?
No, I know. I know.
I'm not going to sit here and say. I'm not going to sit here and say Oscar Bob and Rico Lewis are world-class footballers. That's not what I'm talking about. And for me, I probably think in the next 2-3 years, you'll probably see them move on. I'm talking about the way our players go on is though all these kids are Phil Foden. Now, when Phil Foden was 16, 17, Lubo, you watched him come on for Man City and you went, God, you can play. Like, wow, you like technical ability, first touch skill that you saw he was different. I'm saying with our young players, I don't see it. Now, I see it. This is going to be really contradictory. I see it with Luca Williams-Barnett, but again, I see it with Luca Williams-Barnett at the age group he's in. What I want to see with any of these players is when they get that chance to go into the first team, do they naturally have it? Right? And some do, right, Lubo? Look at Dele Alli. Dele Alli was signed at 18 and he took to it like a duck to water, didn't he? He just hit the ground running. Yeah. And for years before he fell off, he was brilliant, right? Ledley King.
He was 17. Yeah.
Ledley King, right? If I'm not wrong, Lubo, if I remember rightly, didn't he make his debut against Bradford?
Bradford, yeah. In 99.
In a 3-3 draw? God, there we go. That'll test the limit, right? Right. So Ledley King, if I'm not wrong, Lubo, I know this is taking the brain back about 26, 27 years. Ledley King broke into the first team and fucking stayed there, right? Ledley King came in and we went, right, you're starting every week because he was that good. Sol Campbell, the same, right? That's what I'm talking about.
His knee got screwed in that first game at Bradford. Can you believe it? That's where he got the injury.
And didn't he score after like 12 seconds or something in that game? Like, wasn't it
12 seconds? Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yes, sorry. Yes, he did. Sorry, Chris is right. Yeah, King made his debut. Sorry, I'm getting the debut mixed up with the goal he scored against Bradford, which was the quickest in the league at the time. Yeah, but this is what I'm talking about, right? Some players like Bukayo Saka got in at Arsenal and stayed in, right?
18.
Right. So Bukayo Saka goes in at 18 and stays in and just stayed in, right? I'm not talking about players. They've had other players, haven't they? Like Smith Rowe.
Well, listen, Nketiah.
Smith Rowe and Nketiah. These players came in. Reece Nelson, they came in, bit parts. Yeah. That for me is, you've made it as a pro, but you didn't make it at Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? They didn't make it as real first team. And that's what I'm talking about.
They could have, Sav, they could have 4 regulars in their first team within the next 2 to 3 years. With Saka, Miles Skelly, Dowman, and Nweri.
Sure. But the difference is going to be how many of them will stick around to wait for that game time, right? Because the problem is, and this is the difference, this is what I've been talking about, Lubo, is in front of, and bear in mind, Dowman is what, 15, if I'm not wrong?
He's 15, and where is 17?
Right. Dowman is a child, so I'm not even going to bring him into this conversation. But he looked bloody good, but he's a child, right? The problem is that people like Lewis Skelly and Nweri are going to have is they came in last year, didn't they, and did really well. But what Arsenal have done is bought in front of them, right? So those guys are now bit part players. Now, that doesn't mean they always will be, Lubo, but this is what the big teams do. They will bring through a couple of youth players, but knowing that they are bit part players until they make it. Like Foden had to wait his time. He came in, didn't he? Was brilliant, but was up against David Silva, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Sterling. You know, he was... So, look, I would like to think they all come great, but no one can tell me what they've seen from Moore so far, that Moore should be starting left wing for Spurs, for example. Doesn't mean he won't.
I'd like to see him in the squad next season. If he has if he carries on at Rangers and he keeps on the same trajectory upwards, then I'd like to see him back at Spurs in the squad. But we need a top left winger as well.
Sure, but to do that, then what that then means is you've then got Tell, Odegaard, Yang, right? Players have to be moved on, don't they? For that to happen, you can't have Tell, Yang, Odegaard.
No, Moore, you can't have 3,
and a top left winger that you want to sign. So, you know, it's look. All I'm saying is the youth conversation. I see far too many fans every year tell me which players are going to make it. And every year, Lubo, they're wrong, right? And you know why they're wrong every year, Lubo? Because they've seen them at youth level. They've not seen them do it in Premier League level to know.
I think the other minus, the other wall that's been put up, Sav, whether they're good enough or not, because there are players that slip through. You know, sure. Madueke's pretty good, and he was at Spurs. You know, he could have been in our first team now, and you know, and everybody would have said, "There's a really good academy success story."
Sure.
Sometimes it's the managers who don't give players a chance. You know, and players that could go one way or another, but need the opportunity. Some will take it and some won't. But for the odd one or two that do come
name me a top player that's happened to.
We haven't had a manager.
Name me a top player that's happened to, and I'll agree with you.
Well, Sherwood banked on Kane. He fancied Kane. and Kane was nothing like the player that he became when Sherwood turned around to Levy and said, "I'm not letting you sell him to Forest for 600 grand."
Sure, but that's
So
not. But again, but the question wasn't who we kept. The question was, name me a player that wasn't given a chance, left, and the club turned around and really regretted it instantly. Not that in 4 years later they turned out to be a superstar. Who instantly regretted it that should have been playing there and then? I can't think of anyone.
No, because if they haven't been given a chance, then you've got nothing to actually say. Well, he looked great. Let's keep him. Madueke wanted game time. You can go back to 74 when Souness wanted game time at Spurs.
That's not what I'm asking. But you're missing a point. You're missing a point. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if the players are that good, they will play. So a lot of people in the chat right now are talking about Cole Palmer. Pep has said it wasn't that he didn't realise how good Cole Palmer was. He said he couldn't give him the game time. Pep Guardiola, you've got to remember at that time, had David Silva, right? Yeah, he had Doku, David Silva, Phil Foden, Gundogan, and De Bruyne. How do you turn around and go, oh my God, we've let Palmer go? Pep won't care about that. Pep's not going to care that he let Cole Palmer go. Pep Guardiola has sold players in his career like Thierry Henry and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He don't give a fuck, right? I'm talking about youth players that never got given a go in their first team at their club, that left and instantly were amazing, and the selling club regretted it.
Ooh, I'll have to think about that.
Right, and especially at Spurs. So Madueke, for example, Madueke left. Sorry, Bernardo Silva. Yes, not David Silva. Yeah, people knew what I meant, right? Madueke left, went away, built his career over a few years, and then got the big move to Chelsea and Arsenal. It wasn't that he left, went to a top club and was amazing immediately, right? So the top young players will get a chance. If they're that good, they will play.
I think the one player who went and got bought back for massive money was Pogba, wasn't he? United let him go and ended up paying 93 million to bring him back.
Sure.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think how many more there are. It's funny, interesting. Do you see? I saw a report. I don't know how true it is. I saw a report that Spurs are looking to put a bid in for Troy Parrott.
I mean, that would just be really embarrassing. I mean, if that's the level we're at of buying Troy Parrots, then again, Lubo, we do not deserve to talk about being a big club and wanting to be top four and win. Troy Parrott has scored a few goals, right? Look at the level he's playing at. Right? What are we doing here? Would you want Troy Parrott back?
No, listen, I'd like someone like Osimhen, but we're not going to get Osimhen at 400 grand a week. That would just destroy team spirit and wage. The wage cap. Every other player would be in asking for much higher wages. It would just destroy the whole thing. So that wouldn't happen. But that's the sort of level of player that I want. And if Harry's not coming back till 2027, and I saw the ITK, I saw him last week. And I said to him, Howard, I hear Kane's not coming back now, is he? He said, he is coming back. Take it from me. He is coming back. So I said, fine. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, but it's embarrassing pining after Kane. Spurs are a club we should be finding. Who is the next Kane? We should be finding. Where are they? For me, this is the problem. We've got to practice what we preach. We talk so much about wanting to be a big club, and then we just accept so much average, and it drives me mental. And the fans like me that don't accept average or mediocrity, we're told we're negative and that we don't like youth. No, I want Spurs to sign proper footballers. I don't want to pick on a match day between Sarr, Bergvall, and Gray. That's not where I want my football club to be.
But this hasn't happened for 10 years, pretty much, in terms of bulk, in terms of a proper policy where the closest we came was this summer, because all four players are sort of established. They're not kids that are coming up from a lower division, etc. Apart from this summer, we haven't had a summer like that for I don't know how long. Honestly, that's been the problem. That's why That's why we're overloaded with kids with potential, but we're not overloaded with really good players. Every other top club have got more top players than we have, and that's why we're not going to get top. That's why we're not going to get top 5 probably this year. You know, maybe not even top. For me, Newcastle, Villa, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, City are all streets ahead of us squad wise.
They are. Can I just say, right? Listen, I mean, first of all, listen, this comment in the chat. I mean, sorry, Cholton King 6053 has said to me, "Are you going against what you said earlier about getting players for now? Kane is the best striker in the world." Cholton King, do you not think that I would want Harry Kane in this football team? You engage the brain before you type. If Harry Kane came back to Tottenham, you think I wouldn't want him? I'm trying to bring the reality of why the fuck is Harry Kane coming back to Tottenham anytime soon? He is playing for one of the best teams in the world, banging in goals for fun, going deep into Champions Leagues. What are you talking about? I would love Harry Kane. It's just not happening. If Harry Kane comes back in 2027, I'm going to ask questions why. Of course I am. Like, why is your ambition to go back to Tottenham? Like, why have you left big clubs to go to Tottenham? But I'll take it. But right now, we should be looking at ready-made players for now. Not, is Harry Kane going to come back in 2 years' time and rescue us? Come on, like, oh, I just want some ambition. I want some ambition in this football club and fan base. I'm so bored of watching average footballers at Tottenham. Ambition.
I think that, so if that comes down, forget the fan base, that comes down to the owners, doesn't it?
Yeah, but no, the fan base don't help.
Pure and simple.
Yeah, but Lubo,
I must say something. But the fan base don't have any influence on what's going on.
No.
At the end of the day.
But that doesn't mean you've got to rate average footballers. Listen, me having influence over Spurs sign doesn't mean I have to think players that are average are better than they are. Right? So when Spurs sign an average player, I don't have to turn around and go, oh, he's really good. And you know, just because he plays for Spurs. I look at this squad and go, who put this fucking squad together? Right? Who put this squad together? We've got fans that look at this squad and go, we should batter everyone 4 or 5-0. Right? And I'm looking at those fans going, who are you watching? Like, who are you watching in our team? Like, I don't get it.
More than half the squad has been bought by under Postecoglou.
No, sure.
I went through it. There's maybe 2 or 3 with Conte. Davis goes back to Poch. Romero is, I think, was that Jose? I think Romero was Jose 2021. Most of it is Postecoglou, as it happens, because most of the old ones got cleared out summer before last. There was 16, 17 went, and most of them were, obviously pre-Ange. So that's where we are. That's why it's important. If we've got to have. Me personally, I think Spurs have got to have 2 really good transfer windows, and have an A1 season next season for Kane to look at it and think, great, they're going places. I'll come back and I'll break the record, but at the same time, I've got a chance of winning trophies. So for
me, I think it's more than 2 windows. I think this club, as I've said before, and I'll say this again, this club needs years of building. And years of good windows, not one good window and everyone fucking shits the bed. We need years and years of good. Hang on. Yeah. We need years of good windows where we buy sensibly, right? I want to get to the stage where I am not having to argue every week about which crappy centre mid starts over which crappy centre mid and which crappy left winger starts over which. We argue, right? We argue chalk and cheese. We argue tomato over players. People going, oh, I'd start Odegaard. I don't want to see any of these guys starting for Tottenham. That's where we are. I don't want to see any of these guys starting for Tottenham Hotspur.
But they're the ones who are here, so they're the ones we discuss.
No, I get it. I completely get it. But my point is, we should be going out in these windows and buying better, not worrying about, oh, well, if this person comes in, If this person comes in, they'll block the path. I don't care. I don't care which top left winger comes in and blocks Odegaard's path. I don't care.
Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in Jan to start.
Agreed.
I'm looking more for intent I'm looking more for intent in January, Sav. You know, it's not easy. You don't know who's going to be available, and obviously there's going to be far few players that are available in Jan than there are in the summer.
But that's their job.
So for me,
but that's their job, Lubo.
So
that's
for
not
me,
an excuse.
Yeah,
that's their job.
No, but right. But instead of, you know, you could go out and buy 7 or 8 in the summer, you go and buy a couple in January. That's the point I'm making. You know, your pool is much bigger. Your pool is much bigger, and therefore the potential to buy more players is greater in the summer than it is now. But we need one or two. We need definitely we need 2 in January, maybe 3.
Agreed.
In order to make us challenge. Because for me, I would like to think that the first chance Frank has of winning a trophy is going and winning the Europa again next season, and for that, I think we've got to finish 6th. That's where we need to be. That's where we need to be.
I don't disagree, but the problem is, from the moment that transfer window shut on the 1st of September, all of September, October, November, and December, their job is speaking to agents. Their job is finding those players that are going to be available. Their job is finding people to upgrade this football team, right? The big clubs make it happen. There's no excuses anymore, right? We can't sit here and talk about it's January. They have got to go and find it. It is not difficult to upgrade our midfield. It is not difficult to upgrade our left wing, right? They've got to go and make it happen now. Act like a big club. Make it happen. No intent, get it done. Now, that doesn't mean you're just going to get whoever you want. Like we had the chat on the phone yesterday. Semenyo, right? Semenyo, in my mind, I've said all along, Lubo, the moment a big club comes in for Semenyo, he's not going to want to come to Tottenham. I am comfortable with that. My question is, right, if you know you can't get Semenyo, who's option 2, 3, and 4? Right? That's what Spurs need to do for me.
Well, they'll have it. They've already seen and looked and offered for Fofana, haven't they?
They did.
So that's just a question of going back. They know all about him. They would have seen Akliouche as another one against Monaco, for, you know, and Paratici would have seen him. He was in Monaco for that game, regardless of what scouting has gone on. They're looking at the boy from Leipzig. There's 3. No, but this guy looks special, Sav. He does look special.
God, you see, this whole show about kit, we do it again. This kid looks special because he's had a good start to a season. Oh God, we're doing it again.
He's had a blistering start to the season.
Oh sure, but I again, this is it. When you sat there and said you want to win Premier Leagues, you don't. You want a youth team.
No. Well, listen, it's if somebody is that good, you know, just like we look at someone like Yamal and maybe 1 or 2 others who are teenagers that you can see are that good. If this kid is that good, then obviously you've got to go in for it. And you know, Liverpool are there, Liverpool sniffing around. So Liverpool, you know, are Liverpool idiots.
But Lubo, this again comes down to common sense. Liverpool can, because Liverpool have got 4 or 5 top forwards already. So Liverpool can go and they can get him in slowly. Tottenham need players for now. Liverpool have got Gakpo, Wirtz, Szoboszlai, Isak, Ekatike.
No, hang on. Wait a minute. Wirtz and Szoboszlai are nothing to do with the kid from Leipzig. They're different positions.
Yeah, but no, you're missing my point. You're missing my point again, Lubo. This is the thing. You're so youth-centric that you can't see.
No, listen, right? Sure, not a question. It's nothing to do with youth-centric.
Lubo, can I finish my sentence? Can I finish my sentence? Young players can have ability, but that doesn't always mean they're ready with the pressure, mentality, moving country. This again, okay. If we sign Diamonde, can you make me a pact, right? If we sign Diamonde, I don't ever want to hear the phrase "he's only young, he's only a kid, he's a teenager." If we sign him for the first team and he plays, he will be critiqued like everyone else, right? I am so bored of everyone championing children, and then when they don't play well, we use the excuse, but they're only young. I am so bored of this. And again, this is why our fans don't have the same ambition as Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, because all we talk about is young, 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 young. It is just, it's insufferable. No one knew this player 2 weeks ago. This week, I've got to tell you, Savvy's special. Fucking hell.
Sean did. Sean knew about him.
Sean did. You didn't. You didn't.
But I saw what I saw on Sunday. He looked absolutely phenomenal. We're not talking about St. Pauli at the bottom of the Bundesliga. We're talking about a Champions League team that the kid has destroyed in under 45 minutes. He was absolutely sensational. So if they follow him, and if he carries on,
we sign.
No. If he carries on like this, Sean's been following him all season.
Matt, I know he's played like 22 games in his career. This is what we do, Matt. This is what we do. This is what Lubo does. Lubo praises these kids to the hill.
You're too fixed. You're too inflexible, Sav. If he's that good,
I'm too
does
inflexible.
It matter if he's 20? Yes, because you're saying he's only 19, he's only played 22 games.
Yes.
If his kid has burst on, and he's absolutely brilliant, do you say, oh, no, it doesn't matter that he's that great. We don't need him because he's only 19 and he's only played 22 games. Do you think Liverpool are thinking that? Because they're following him every single match at the moment.
But again, Lubo.
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
do we aspire to be a big club like Liverpool or not?
Okay. So when you see, Lubo, your get out of jail card is always, you're too inflexible, Savva. You don't open your mind. Open your mind. Liverpool don't need to buy him to be the main man. We need a bloke to buy to be the main man right now. We need a player that guaranteed goes into the first 11, right? We're doing this again, right? We're doing this thing again. 22 professional appearances as a footballer, and we're already made our minds up from watching 90 minutes of him. This is a guy Tottenham should buy. And what will happen? I've told you, what will happen will be the same thing you do every time one of the kids has a crap game. They're young, Sav. They need time. I'll remind you of this in a few years. Why can't we go and act like a proper club? Why can't we go and act like a proper football club? What is wrong with us?
Go and buy both. Go and buy two. Go and buy two. Tell wants out. He wants to go. Roma are interested.
Said who? Who said Tell wants out?
It's been reported. Tell is unhappy at Spurs.
If Spurs go and buy,
if Tell is unhappy, sell Tell.
If Spurs went and bought Diamonde and another player senior in his position, fine. Look how many players we've already bought. Tell, Odeber, Yang. You want more to come back in, right? I just don't get it.
I'd sell over there as well. Personally,
sure,
I'd sell him as well. I'd sell Odeber. I'd sell Lubo. Yang can have another year on loan. Moore comes back in, and you buy a couple of left wingers. See, Moore is more of a 10. John is telling me that's his best position is as a 10 rather than an 11. So if you look at it that way,
in front of Maddison, Simmons, Kulu, like what? What are we doing here?
Kulu's not a 10. Will Maddison come back after this injury? That's a good question.
Yes,
it's a good. Will he come back as the same player?
I think he comes back better. I
hope so.
Listen to him talk.
I hope so.
I
hope so.
I just don't get it. I just don't get this constant need for youth players. I just don't get it. Right?
No, it's about bringing in top players. If this kid is,
how can you be a top player after 22 games of professional football?
I don't know. The same way that Ledley King was looked on after 22 games, the same way that other players are looked on after 22 games. So, if a player's that good, and the scouts are all flocking to watch him, if he's that good, if he stays at Leipzig for the season, and he carries on the way he's going, I think every club in Europe will be after him.
I'm sure, but not every club in Europe will get him in and put him in as a first-team starter. This is what we need. This is the difference. This is what I don't think fans like you get, Lubo. We need first team.
No.
Right, let me talk.
We need
sentence. Surely I'm allowed to finish a sentence.
Go on.
Liverpool, for example, who are looking at him, have loads of forwards. He wouldn't have to go there and be the first choice player because they've got loads of top forwards in front of him. He can gradually come into the team. We're talking about we need new forwards immediately for the first team. We will bring in a youngster. This is what will happen. It doesn't matter how good he is because sometimes when they're that young, right, you've got to think about, are they ready to move country? Can they handle the pressure? Are they ready to do all the media work at that age, right? What's their mentality like? So when people go, it's only about ability. No, it's not only about ability, or all of the top young players across the world would have made it. There's so many more factors to this. But again, at Spurs, we've seen a youngster who's had 22 games. 22 games, and suddenly the fan base watch him for 90 minutes and have decided this is him. It is absolutely crazy.
What fan base?
Now, that doesn't mean he won't be a top player. But if he comes in, fine. But if he comes in, no excuses of age. Do we agree on that? If he comes in, no excuses.
I agree on that with him. No, absolutely.
Fair.
Absolutely.
Okay, fair enough. I'll meet you halfway.
That's fair enough.
Fair.
That's
but
fair
what
enough.
I don't want is we bring him in and then we sit there and go, oh, but he's young. Because if that's going to be the excuse, then go and get a senior pro. We seem allergic to getting players that have been there, seen it and done it. We are turning into a youth club. It's embarrassing. We're turning into a youth club and we want to buy more youth. I don't get it, man. I don't get what we want as a fan base. I don't get it. Just don't get it, my man. How much is he going to cost? 70, 80?
No idea what the fee that they'll put on him is. It's
Right.
going to be a high fee.
Right. So would you want to pay 70 to 80 million of our transfer budget on a kid who's had 22 games? Like, really?
Depends what the budget is. Depends what the budget is.
This is Tottenham, isn't it? So, I mean, if your budget is £200 million in the summer, you want 70 to 80 of it being on a guy that's had 1 year in professional football. Like this is, I get it. When the big clubs go and do it, they do it and nurture them. We need now, we need Lookmans. We need ready-made players who have been there, seen it and done it. Lookmans, Tonys, obviously we know that's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Morgan, Gibbs-White, we need ready-made pros. It's just, I don't know, man. I just can't.
Listen,
we're turning into a youth club. We're turning into a youth club, and it's embarrassing. No big club acts like this. No big club acts like this.
We'll see. Listen, at the moment, they haven't bought anybody in Jan. So let's see what happens, and then February the 1st, at least after a month under the new owners, so to speak. Let's see what intent there is with ambition. Let's see. Let's see what job. Let's see what British has been doing since he came in beginning of September. So
yeah, let's see. Let's see. By the way, I'm going to wrap up the show, guys. We're going 2 hours, 10 minutes. First of all, big up to my man, Smokey Boy, who sent me a coffee and said, hope we get Wolfie howling at the weekend. Yeah, oh, God, we can't lose just because of Wolfie. Let's be brutally honest. But look, guys and girls, I will be back. I'm going to do a members-only show tomorrow. I haven't done one for a while. And then, I don't know, probably something Friday or Saturday before the game on Sunday. Obviously, we'll have the watch-along. It's the 2 o'clock kickoff, right? Is it on TV? Yeah. We on the box? It must be, right? So. Let's double-check. Fixtures, Forest, Tottenham. It is on Sky Sports at 2 p.m. Yeah, Sky Sports. So, guys, join us then. Maybe between now and then, we'll have signed a few more teenagers, keep Lubo happy, get those youngsters in ready for 2030. Big up to each and every one of you. Smash the like button. Let me see if is anyone live? Let's just see who's live that we can send people to. Is Sean live? Sean and Johnny might be live. I don't know what time they're going. 1 second. Bear with me. Bear with me, people. I'm just redirecting. Customization. Redirect. Who's live? Not TalkSport. I'm not sending you. Oh, Ben Kaufman is live. The Galfy Company. Get over there. Smash the like. Say Savva or FHTV Raid. Show some love. Much love. Take care. And as always, come on, you youth Spurs.